Hello and welcome to another JNP video. I am your host JonNario and today it is another 20k PR video. This time I will be using my Candy Barbarian. I just recently upgraded, as you saw in the intro. Yeah, I'm literally at 20,000 power rank. That is very lucky. Anyways, I'm just gonna say it right now. Leave a comment in the comment section down below letting me know which class would you like to see me in, then will see me get to 20,000 power rank in the next episode. But from now on the episode will go a little bit slower just because I want to focus on other videos as well. So yeah, I will still do the 20k PR on every character, but I will upgrade them eventually rather than just upgrading them really fast. Still, I'm rambling all too much. Just leave it in the comment section down below. Next episode might be the Vanguardian unless more people want another class. Alright, now let's get started with the Candy Barbarian. 20,000 power rank. Like exactly 20k. That is legit really funny. I got a total of 267,228 physical damage. At max attack speed at 242. 65.2% critical hit and 25.0 critical damage. The reason I do have a lot of physical damage, not only because I have a lot of physical damage roll on my gems, but also Candy Barbarian is the other class that has a bonus 30% to its base physical damage. I don't have maximum movement speed, the 120 movement speeds, because I'm on the mount and I'm using the night subclass. My gems are as follow. I do have I believe this one is one of each Empower gem. This one is a 2-1 physical, and one of each I think is a 2-1 crit damage. Well, crit hit and 1 physical damage. I don't know. I think it's like one of each. My lesser gems are 2-1 physical, 2-1 physical, 2-1 crit damage, 2-1 crit damage, 2-1 physical, and 2-1 physical. So yeah, they're kind of half and half, but more physical than critical damage. My gear, I use attack speed, critical damage. The reason I use attack speed second stat instead of using it like fourth stat is because this was once my tank, so I had like maximum health and attack speed, and pretty much maximum health regen and attack speed. So I still have the same equipment that pretty much I was using with my tank. So yeah, I would strongly recommend you to use critical damage if you want to use damage on the Candy Barbarian. But if you want to use tank, then you can go with attack speed because you want to be hitting the enemy as much as possible for, I don't know, for whatever reason, because a little bit more DPS even though you're a tank. But still, I have maximum health, critical hit, and physical damage on third stat, and obviously crit damage on fourth. I have a magic find ring. It's a stellar 2. I want to get a new one, but whatever. Rat the Berserker, more damage and more heals, because this one is not a speed farmer with movement speed. This is more of a speed farmer but with mount speed. That's why I'm using the night subclass, because I do not have movement speed on my gear. But this class is really good for movement speed gear if you want to speed farm like any other speed farming character, because this class does have a movement speed buff. And I use Sure Strike and Martial damage and Sure Strike because I do have 64% critical hit, and this will help me out a lot. And Conjurer's Crucial Vial because the reason being magic find, like always. But the Candy Barbarian, how should I put it? You might have seen it in the title that this is probably the most complete class in the game. I'm just gonna say it as such. This is literally probably in my opinion the best class in the game, like overall. Reason being, it is a starter class, so you can use it as early as you starting the game. Every ability is good. It does have plus 30% physical damage. It has an incredibly strong ultimate ability, and it is useful even in Shadow Towers because of the ultimate ability buff. It is honestly like a full complete package of a class. If you want a strong damaging class that literally does everything, you're looking at one right here. It has like really high, not only it has like a bonus 30% to his physical damage, it also has a pretty high basic attack damage at 1.85. The spin attack, you can spam it like crazy, like look at that, it has a really short animation, so you can throw that ability, it does like 6.5. The leap ability is a really good mobility tool, and it gives you like, not only it gives you like great mobility, it has incredible AoE, and it gives the red gumdrop that gives attack speed and movement speed. Speaking of red gumdrop that gives attack speed and movement speed, it is the Candy Barbarian's passive ability. When you get hit, you pretty much have like the same as the Gunslinger's ultimate ability without the class gem. You get pretty much a little bit more of a bonus. You get plus 100 attack speed and plus 20 movement speed. You get incredible bonus from this class. This class in itself, it has everything that you want. Oh yeah, and one more thing, the ultimate ability. Yeah, I'm just gonna... what? Okay. That is a ridiculously damaging ability. That is the second strongest ability in the game, if you did not notice or did not know. It is the second strongest ability in terms of raw damage. First one being obviously the Shadowhunter ult. But this one is the second strongest. That's 15 times damage. I believe it is. It's so stupidly high. It's honestly ridiculous how powerful this class actually is. Like, you're seeing a 20k PR on U9, pretty much one-shotting everything with a spin attack. I don't want to go into that. Into that dino biome. I don't like the permafrost either, but hey, whatever. This is my spawn anyways. But if you haven't used the Candy Barbarian, or if you want to use a strong, over-the-top strong class, this is a good class. This is probably the most complete class on Trove. It is easy to craft, it does everything that you want, it's literally useful at any portion of the game. It is useful even as speed runs if you want purple name, because Candy Barbarian is amazing due to the buff from the ult. It literally does everything that you want from a class. I'm not using the class gem, by the way. You may or may not notice that I don't have the class gem. Reason being is I had the class gem. I do still have the class gem, but it was my tank class gem. It does have like 2 maximum health and physical damage, I believe. And I just got a better damaging gem, and not to mention I rather just use the leap ability rather than just using the class gem, because when I'm farming I don't want to pull anything towards the barb. I just want to go into a dungeon, leaping into battle and just destroy life. But how you use the Candy Barbarian? You're pretty much seeing it on screen. This is how you use the Candy Barbarian for any portion of the game. Just go into a dungeon, leap into the dungeon. If you miss, whatever, you still got like really a lot of ground covered. But if you miss, it's whatever. The leap ability doesn't do like a lot of damage to begin with, but still it is a cool ability, because if you hit an enemy you get the passive ability proc. But you just go into a dungeon, smack with your leap ability, and go to town. And you can do this as well. That's the only bad thing about the leap. You sometimes lag like crazy, but still, if you have your ult throwing on cooldown, it will pretty much one-shot everything. You will see incredibly high damage from your ultimate ability. throw their ultimate ability against bosses rather than just using it in Cursed Skull. Like, it is honestly a complete package. I literally have nothing else to say. If you haven't used the Candy Barbarian, I will strongly suggest you to use it. And it is a class that you can use a tank or DPS, but I would strongly use this class as a DPS rather than a tank. I know that the Candy Barbarian is an amazing tank, but it is stronger as a DPS, and speedrunners, the people that are Candy Barbarian with purple name, they are DPS Candy Barbarian, if you haven't noticed. DPS Candy Barbarian, and not to mention they have the class gem, but still I've seen a lot of people that use tank as a barb. I used to use the barb as a tank, but after just using it a little bit more, the Candy Barbarian does everything that you want from a class. It literally does everything. And taking the insane damage that it does, and not to mention the high attack speed that it can do, taking those things away, it just kills it. So that's why I would recommend you to use this class more as a DPS rather than a tank. But if you want to use as a tank, then go for it. You can still do well with the Candy Barbarian as a tank, but DPS all the way. But yeah, I forgot my timer again, because I was like, yeah, let me just do a recording, and I forgot my timer. I'm an idiot. And there isn't like a lot of things to say about this class. I really pretty much summed everything up. Just I would strongly recommend to use as a tank, as a DPS. Have high attack speed because of the 30% buff. This class doesn't need a lot of gear because, again, 30% buff and the passive ability. And the passive ability just increases your attack speed by a lot, even at early game. It does have a really good subclass, which is as good as the Lunar Lancer subclass. And yeah, yes. It has really high DPS. Well, not the highest, it's not the lowest, not the highest, it's around a little bit above average. I will say it is around the same as the Knight in terms of DPS, DPS, because the basic attack, it does a little bit less than the Knights. It attacks slower than the Knights, but it does have the passive ability, so you can attack a little bit faster. But still, DPS is around the same. The spin attack does a lot of damage, but you can spam it like really fast. It does a lot of high initial damage, but other than that, the energy is just. If you want to use energy regen with this class, you can go for it, but you can actually use this class as anything, like with any gear. If you want to speed form, go for it. Like, this class does have a passive ability that increases your movement speed by 20 base movement speed, which will become this class will become as fast as the Vanguardian, close to the Vanguardian speed. And you know how good the Vanguardian actually is. It will be like the same as the Lunar Lancer in terms of movement speed, just from the passive ability alone. So you can use this class and it will be as good as the Lunar Lancer. You're already seeing on screen that I can one-shot enemies, and I don't have even the best gems possible. So honestly, use this class. I would strongly recommend anyone to use this class if you haven't already. And yeah, that's literally everything I have to say. So yeah, that is all with the Candy Barbarian. If this video is short, because I don't know, because I didn't record the timer. But yeah, if the candy bar, this video is short, then I'm sorry, but yeah, that is all for today. By the way, look at my candy barbarian, it looks so sick. I recently got this costume, right, the Frigifin costume. I just added the gravity hammers from Heidlas. It is a Neon City style if you don't know, and the Bone Knight helmet. It is really cool setup, I really do enjoy it, but still I'm rambling all too much. Anyways, thank you for watching. Let me know what you think of the Candy Barbarian in the comments below, and if you have a Candy Barbarian, let me know the power rank that you are currently at. Also, let me know which clash I should do in the next episode. The current one who's winning is the Vanguardian. And yeah, that is all for today. Once again, thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care and keep on hunting. And remember, this is Trove's most complete class. See ya.